Let's go.
I have lo-fi playing, and I was like talking like a soothing voice.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. All right. I'm just gonna let chat know that I'm not gonna be really engaging with them, and I'm just gonna like get into the podcast, and then we'll start.
Absolutely.
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna let you know that like I just said, I'm not look at her, she's pumped. I'm not gonna be
I'm like
really
loving how I'm like
engaging with
dark
chat.
and like everything here is like very like earthy, and then like you're just like
I know I'm so bright
sunny.
and clean. I know.
Yes, it's like two different, like completely different vibes, but like so like makes sense.
I know it does. It does. It really does. Okay, so the podcast overview. So this is what we're gonna go over. We're gonna talk about your journey in content creation and how you went from gaming into OnlyFans, your current content and what you offer now, the community, and how your community has taken the change, and if you've gotten any hate from it, which we all know you have. And then we're gonna do Q&As, which are some Q&As that you have that people have commented on our promo posts, and then also we'll take some questions from the chat. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But that's the overview. I was like accidentally typing in chat that whole time. So I had to like fix it. Okay, so with your journey, when did you start streaming and why did you start streaming?
Oh my gosh, that is such a loaded question. Okay, so when I first started streaming, we're coming up on like three and a half, 4 years.
Dang, I can't believe it's been that long already.
My full-time date was my birthday. My last birthday
No.
was my full-time 3 years. 3 years of being full-time streaming. So the weird part is how I got started, really. Super random. So when I was married, like way back in the nether days, and
which I still can't believe.
It's been so long since that was a thing. But so when I was married, he had really gotten me into watching streams, and I had always been a gamer, but like he got me into different kinds of games that I had never tried before, like multiplayer games and stuff like that. I normally was a single player person. And
Right.
so he really got me into Fortnite, and I started watching streams, and I was like, like I feel like I could do this. And there were people like at my job where I was working that were like, wow, like you would be a great stream. Like literally, I had one of my coworkers told me, he was like, I have this YouTuber that I watch, and like you have the perfect personality to be a streamer. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm not sure how I feel about all that attention on me, whatever. And so I sat my husband down at the time, and I was like, I kind of want to start streaming. So he was like, okay, like we can get you a computer. And I started streaming on Twitch to literally like 2 people. And my marriage just started like falling apart after that. So I kind of quit to like try and salvage the marriage. And unfortunately it ended in divorce. And when I got divorced, I had started modding for a streamer on Facebook and became like really good friends with him. Became friends with a couple actually streamers. And
Facebook streamers are pretty great.
Yeah, it was such an amazing community.
It really was. Like back when Facebook streaming just started.
Level. And I feel like it was until we'll get into that. But it was for a long time. It was really amazing to be there. And so I met this streamer, and I was like, I really want to stream, but like the computer I got, like it's not great for it. And I didn't have a nice microphone. I didn't have a nice camera. And he was like, I have all of this extra stream equipment. I'm just going to send it to you. So he sent me
How nice of him.
What the nicest. Like honestly, it was just it's just a story of people believing in me, really, is the only reason that I have gotten it this far. Is I've had like a couple people who just really believed in me, and those few people are the only reason that I made it through the really hard times of streaming. Otherwise, I don't think I ever would have made it to full time. Never. I never would have made it to full time. I tried to quit so many times. But when I started streaming, I just really loved it, but I ended up burning myself out on Fortnite.
Right.
And so I kind of like quit for a month, and when Call of Duty came out, I had met a couple Call of Duty streamers at PAX West and started doing COD content and lost my entire Fortnite community when I did this. But something amazing happened by just trusting myself and doing what I felt it was best for me and my content. I did it anyways. I just went forward because that's what was made. Like I was having fun,
Right. That's what
playing
matters
COD.
is really just
Exactly.
having fun and the
It's
game that you're
never,
playing and enjoying it.
yeah, it's never like me doing this full time was never something I expected to happen. That was nothing that I ever thought that I'd be thrown into the way that I was. And when I started playing COD, that's right when COVID hit. And so it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like this beautiful storm of everything working out for me, which I feel like is how it happened with you too, where it
Right.
was
And
just like,
Warzone was at its peak. Everything was,
yes,
it was,
it
oh my
was
gosh, it was
like
like
a
a perfect storm.
beautiful
Yep.
storm
Mm-hmm.
of I now was full time at home with my kid, watching him and making sure he was like getting schoolwork done.
Right.
My job was furloughed because hotel business was at an all-time low. And so I was getting paid to sit at home and play video games by the government. I mean, we all really were. Like a lot of
Right.
us
Yeah,
were at
exactly.
home cashing in unemployment checks. But like for me, I saw this as an opportunity for me to like actually do this thing. And if it didn't work out, I went back to my job and it was fine. It was just like a little test run for me, but it actually worked out for me. And I was making way more money streaming and I was enjoying myself a lot more. I was spending a lot more time with my son. And so it ended up like being an incredible opportunity that kind of fell into my lap a little bit.
And then, so with that, I think it's like really great that you got to spend time with your son. That's really like,
That's really all
I
that
know it's
I've
a
cared
big
about.
thing for you is
Mm-hmm.
like being able to like help provide for him and like
Oh yeah.
just be there to support him in his like journey growing up as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, when you were gaming and you were at like your peak of streaming and like everything was like so perfect, did you ever think that you were going to change your content and go to OnlyFans?
So the OnlyFans thing is kind of funny to me because it's something that I always wanted to do. Like, as I mean, as early as like I can remember, I remember wanting to be like a porn star. Which it sounds so stupid, but I remember not necessarily so much thinking like, oh, I want to be a porn star, but like, because when you're younger, I don't really feel like a lot of kids think that way.
Right, yeah.
But
Not
to me, like,
necessarily. Hopefully
I
not.
saw like I was seeing like Victoria's Secrets models. I was
Oh
seeing
yeah, for
like
sure.
in movies like girls would like use their boobs to like get something, and I remember thinking, oh, that's so cool. Like you can like being beautiful is a good thing, you know.
Right, yeah.
But did I ever think I would actually do it? Did I ever think that I would actually make that jump? Never in a million years. Absolutely not. And in fact, like even when I first started, it was not supposed to ever be what it became.
Right,
Like
exactly.
really, it yeah, I mean, we can get into that. I'm sure. I'm sure we'll kind of get into the content and stuff. And so I'll
Right,
talk about
yeah,
that
yeah.
a
In the
little bit
next
more.
section, we'll go over like the
But
content that you
no,
do now and
as
all that
far as
stuff.
as far as this question goes, no, I didn't really think I would ever do it. But I remember before my stream really like started blowing up, one of my friends, Mob Docs, he like messaged me in a group chat. It was in a group chat and we were talking about it. He messaged me the OnlyFans link and he was like, "Oh, if you wanted to do that, you could." I think I was talking about like selling feet pics or something. He was like, "Oh, if you wanted to do that, like here's the link for you."
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
looked at it and I remember thinking, I was like, that would. I was like, man, I really wish that I wasn't raised the way I was because I 100% would do this.
So to go with that question, I know that me personally streaming, like before I had started doing OnlyFans or anything, uh, there was a lot of people who asked about it.
Oh
Did you have
yeah.
that as well? That like,
Oh my
and
god,
didn't that
all
put
the
like plant
time.
seeds in your head? You're
Every
like, man,
day.
all the money
The
I could
amount of
make.
money that I
Yes,
lost in those
like
years
you
where
just
I
see
was
dollar
like,
signs. You're
I
like,
was like, man,
man.
I had so much pride. I was like, I'm not gonna be like one of those gamer girls. And then you know what's funny is like that pride like
Oh, I
really
know.
cost me.
Yep, yep. It's like I don't. You never like. I don't think any streamer that strictly did games and then went and started doing OnlyFans ever thought that they were going to do it
go
originally.
there.
Like it's not
No.
like they started gaming and were like, you know what? I'm gonna game and trick these people into thinking that it's about gaming and then change it to OnlyFans.
And then change it up once I get like a base following. No, definitely not. I think for a while, I think for a lot of us women, like we loved streaming, but then it just became something different.
Right.
It stopped being streaming. It stopped being sitting here and conversating with my community, which is what I really loved about streaming. And it turned into like this completely different beast of like kind of feeling like I was being put on show in a way. Like it went from hanging out with friends as a community to how many viewers can I get, and if I don't get enough viewers, people are gonna think something of me, or there was just a lot of pressure at one point for me to do well. And so once that became too much for me, like streaming didn't become fun anymore. But now I'm like, it came full circle where I love streaming again because now I just do it for fun.
Exactly.
It became kind of what I started out to do.
It helps make it like
originally
less, since it's not your like main source of income.
Right. I can do whatever I want.
You can do it for fun.
Wherever I want. Exactly.
Right. You answered the next question that I had with that question. So I'm just gonna move on to the next one. What was the hardest obstacle you had to overcome when making the change in content? And don't mind me, I'm just gonna turn my light down. I feel like it's really bright.
No, you're good. So I think the hardest thing for me was watching the or the follower count on Facebook go down, and that initial shock of everyone. I mean, I was prepared for it when I made the announcement. I had already been doing OnlyFans for a couple months before I made the announcement to make sure it was something that I really wanted to do. And so when I made that announcement, I was fully prepared for the backlash. I wasn't prepared for how demotivating it was to watch the follower count go down at first, because I just had to keep reminding myself that like I'm losing people who who really haven't been supporting me anyways. And I just kind of had to close it off, you know? I kind of had to like stop myself from being hurt by that, because I mean, people weren't interacting with my stuff anyways, so why did I care if they weren't following me anymore? And I just had to remind myself that it was for my future. It was like, did
you see a big drop off when, like, with your follower number, like you noticed your followers?
20,000 in a week.
20,000?
Yeah, I dropped real harsh, and I stayed pretty stagnant for a while. Like I stayed at the same follower count, even though I was like gaining like 4,000 or 5,000 followers a week, or I don't even know actually. I was gaining quite a bit, and
but I think maybe
and it was staying the same follower count, so I was losing as much as I was gaining.
And you weren't streaming on Facebook at that time either, because you had already switched to Twitch. So I think that might have something to do with it, because when you were streaming, you were gaining those followers, and then you weren't gaining followers at all, and then you were only seeing the drop off. So that makes sense. Because I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was that much.
I was doing, exactly. Yeah, no, because I wasn't posting game. I mean, I had stopped posting content on my Facebook for probably 2-3 months, other than live posts. Yep. So it was like my page was dead anyway. So I was like, I should probably use this page for something. Like I know.
I remember telling you, I'm like, why aren't you fucking using this?
I know, but I was just so. Here's the thing: is more than anything, I was trying to think before I acted, and that's something that I've always done in my career. I've done it in my relationships. I do it with all of my friends. I always stop and I think about what I'm going to do before I do it. And so a big part of me taking that time off, those 2 months before I started, talking about my OnlyFans, whatever, it was really just time for me to make space and realize, like, is this something I really want to do? Because once I make that announcement, I can't go back.
Right. You can't. Like, once you say that you do that type of content, there's no like, I'm going back to the innocent girl that I was.
Yeah, you already lost
Yep.
the viewers that were following you because you didn't do that stuff,
Yep.
you know? And I had to put it myself in my mindset that I'm doing this for me, and anyone that doesn't support this doesn't support me.
Right.
'Cause
Exactly. It makes sense.
yeah, you kind of have to like just bottle up those emotions.
Um, so we're gonna move into your current content and what content that you do now. The first question, because I know that people are like, oh, well, she did this she started gaming just to switch over to OnlyFans and
I've
steal.
never heard that before.
Literally, I get it. Like people,
think that.
a lot of people were commenting on our promo post saying that it was like that it's like a scam and they feel like you deceived them. And I was like, literally, I was like, guys, I was like, I'm pretty sure.
Parasocial fucking comment.
I was like, you understand, right? Like, if she would have started posting the content she posts now, she probably would have had more followers than she got from gaming.
I know. And the thing is, I still game.
Right, exactly. That's the question. The question is, do you still game? Because people are under the impression that you don't like to game and it was just a scam.
People ask me that all the time. Yeah, it's a fucking scam. That's why I have a controller tattooed on my fucking body, right? You weirdos. Like, no, people are so like, dude, I'm sorry, but you have to have such a fucked up mindset about this world if you really think that people are doing things just to deceive you.
Right. Because I can't fathom anyone would be like, I'm gonna pretend to like the game
out there. I'm sure that there is someone out there, but I guarantee that percentage is so freaking little. Like,
really right? Exactly. My thoughts. When people said that, I was like, I'm like, it really she still games on Twitch, right? Like a couple times a week.
It really doesn't affect you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't affect your life, bro. But I think what that really comes down to, that anger, where that anger comes from, is the fact that like these people feel like they should have a say in what you do in your life. And because they have like this parasocial relationship that they built with you over time,
right,
where they feel like they know you, right? And the truth is, like, you don't know anything about me. Like, you know what I put out there,
right?
but I'm not putting on display all of the things that I think and feel. So for anyone to say like that they know exactly what my plans were, or how I think, or like what led me to these decisions, like it's just naive.
Right, exactly.
Really.
Exactly. And it's like they put you in this box and you only do the things that
you can only do that one thing.
Yes, and if you step outside of that box, the whole world crumbles.
You can't be intelligent and be a gamer. You can't be intelligent and be an OnlyFans model. You can't be, I can't like fucking tennis and football and game. Oh my god. That's
amazing.
For one woman. Only men can be this complex.
Oh my gosh. All right. So what is your current content that you offer on social media and OF?
So social media, I really am like, I do what I think you see most people doing that are influencers. I do I do a mix of like, I try to mix in a lot of mental health stuff, because even though that stuff doesn't do well on my socials.
Oh yes,
like,
your yoga stuff. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Oh my god, it's so much fun and it's so me. Like, being able to show parts of myself are what I really, really love. Like, unfortunately, I do have to post like super sexy stuff and stuff. And that stuff is me. Like, that stuff is me 100%. That's always been me. Like, that's always been a side of me. It's just like I didn't feel comfortable ever showing that to my community, because I wasn't secure in myself. Like, I never would have posted something like that before, because I was super insecure about my body, and I was super insecure about like how people would think about me. And I think what really has changed is the fact that like I'm really secure in myself now. So I feel, I mean, even now I kind of get anxiety when I post something new that's like completely different from anything I've ever posted. So I don't really know how it's gonna do and how it's gonna be received. So I still get anxiety like that, but I post a lot of everything, really. I post a lot of mental health stuff, funny stuff. I post some sexy stuff. I post transitions. I post, pictures of
Oh my gosh, your
myself.
pineapple video?
Wasn't that
I
funny,
fucking
dude?
love
I
that
didn't
pineapple
expect it.
video
I didn't
because I would
expect
be
it
the
to do
same way.
well, but it was 100% me, and it was one of those things where I was like, this is gonna actually be funny. Like while I started cutting the pineapple, I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. Like I just kind of want to record it and like send it to my friends. But once I recorded it and watched it back, I was like, no, I feel like people can relate to this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure. I related.
so
I related. I have no idea how you cut a pineapple. I always buy pre-slice.
There's so many conveniences that we have always had. Like our generation has always had. Like freshly cut up pineapple is a normal thing to have in a store. Like the fact that I've never cut one, that's something that's normal to a lot of people that you wouldn't think about because it's something so simple.
It definitely is. But your content, like I'm loving your content and all the variety that you post, and I love your dancing.
You too, dude. I watch like all of your stuff.
I have lost my
with your brother. Oh my god.
Oh yes, those are so fun. I'm actually recording with him tomorrow again.
Oh, you tell him he's cute.
I think everybody thinks that.
Oh, he's so fucking cute, dude.
So, okay, with talking about your social media and all the content you post there, so what type of content do you post on OnlyFans?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to answer that one.
It's okay. It was like a big question.
Spicy stuff. Spicy. She's so spicy. Okay, so on OnlyFans, okay, I want to preface by saying I get a lot of people who like message me on OnlyFans and they're like surprised that I message back. They're like surprised that I have like long conversations with them.
And you don't have somebody that you pay to respond to people, because I know a lot of OnlyFans creators do have people that they
feel like
pay to respond to people.
I feel like that's kind of disingenuous because
I feel like it is too, but at a certain size, I feel like
I get it as long as you're not pretending to be that person. Then it's definitely disingenuous. But if you have somebody that's like only responding to like send out videos or whatever, and they're not actually having personal one-on-one conversations with you, I feel like there's a line there. But for me personally, my favorite part is like getting to chat with people and like actually have a conversations and like getting to know my community like I used to. Like I use it kind of as like that. So that's my favorite part of it. But I'd say on my OnlyFans, there's a lot of everything. I mean, there is fully nude stuff. Like there's videos of me doing stuff.
I've seen some. I follow. I'm there. I'm there.
I know. I follow you too. But I also do like fun stuff where like I have like a video of me waxing for the first time. Like,
I don't think I saw that one. I'm gonna have to go find it.
It was fun. So I do a lot of I'm trying to do more like stuff like that where it's like it's something, a part of me that you would it's a more intimate side of me where it's not necessarily sexual in nature, but it's something where you can like see my personality, because I feel like that's really what's like sets me apart, because I think like there's so many fucking beautiful women on OnlyFans and Fansly and on Twitter and Reddit, and like there's so many gorgeous women, and the only thing that I feel really sets me apart from other women in this world is my unique personality, which I mean, you have your unique personality and our personalities are very, very different. So like obviously we're gonna attract different people even though we're both gorgeous, you know? So
exactly.
That's why I try to do a lot of that. I feel like pictures sometimes can get impersonal, which I think pictures are definitely sexy. Like they have a place, but I like doing the videos and stuff like that too.
I agree. I think your content on there is really well-rounded and you reach a lot of different things, and I know you're I don't know where I was going with that, but it's all good. It's all good. Even the feet content, and I'm not into feet, so.
I wasn't into feet until I started doing OnlyFans. And then like people got me, like my feet kink people, like they got me intrigued, and I tried it once and I was like, God damn, now I have a kink that I didn't know. So thank you, everyone.
I think you talked about what your favorite part was, and that was like getting to know everyone.
Yeah.
What would you say your least favorite part is?
My God. That is a good question. Probably the people. Okay, so my least favorite part um is when people are just like don't respect my boundaries, or they're just
Oh yeah, that's a
rude,
good
they're
one.
not respectful in general when they talk to me. People who just like feel like they like, I don't know,
Like
like
you owe them
are
something.
earned. Yeah, like they're owed exactly
Yeah.
whatever they want, and it's just, it gives off this feeling of like, you like, I'm a prostitute.
That's
And
definitely not a good feeling.
no, it's not. And so, and I know a lot of people view OnlyFans girls that way. And I think that it's important that people realize that like we are human, and like even like all sex workers are human. Like prostitutes are human, even though they're doing something illegal, which I don't agree with. But like, even though they're doing something illegal, even though like you know, even a stripper, like they're still humans that deserve your respect regardless of their job.
Exactly. I agree. I I think it doesn't matter. Every person you earn, like you just treat everyone the way you would want to
Yeah,
be treated. The
everyone,
golden
everyone's
rule:
a
just treat
human.
everyone how you
Yeah,
want to be treated.
everyone's a human regardless of their job, unless they're harming somebody else. Then
Right.
I they deserve respect.
Um, what was probably like one of the craziest or like worst things you had somebody say to you that you can
Oh
think
my
of?
gosh, I don't know.
That
There's
like
a lot.
we're
There's a lot.
there's
I
a
don't.
lot.
Oh, you know what? Somebody, like, the worst I've ever had to deal with, and I actually like, I've had people like say stuff about my body that like were mean, but I only had two
Why I don't
instances.
understand that. Like, why would they pay to
I don't
sub and
know.
then tell
It's
you
weird.
like
Well,
what you clearly paid me money?
I feel like they do it to get banned so they can get the content for free, because when you block somebody,
Oh
they
yeah,
get
they
their
still have
money
the
back,
content for the month. Yeah.
which is, I think, is the fucking most ridiculous thing
I thought
ever.
it gave
They
the
get their
money
money
back.
back too. No, it gives the money back to them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they stay
And then
for a
they
month.
keep it. Yeah, I think so. I don't know about that, but I know that they at least get their money back. So I think people do it on purpose. Um,
I normally
but the
I
other thing
restrict the messages
that
so they can't
somebody, I
message me
didn't know
anymore.
this, dude. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently race play is a thing. Like it's something that people are into, where like you call each other derogatory race based names. And I had somebody who was a man of color ask me to play out, like, role play a slave scene with him and call him the hard R. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm very uncomfortable with this, and just
Oh my
blocked
gosh, that's
him.
crazy.
It was the most uncomfortable interaction I've ever had. And he like subbed on a different account, and I had to ban him again. Like, yeah.
I think my face
And
says it all.
I didn't know that was actually a thing. Like, but I
I
saw
didn't
it somewhere where
either.
it's like an actual kink
That's
that
so
people have,
weird.
and it's very, that right there. Seek help, please. Like that. Like, I don't like
Ugh.
to kink shame, but that's just like, unless it's something like, if you're in a one-on-one relationship with somebody and you have built that trust, like that's completely different thing.
Right, but
That's
asking
not
somebody that
something
you don't
you
know
don't
to
know.
yeah, that's a
Very
little
uncomfortable. Like, don't do that, guys. Please don't do that unless you know it's something that that person like deals with. But
have you had anything? I know I'm going way off topic because I'm just
no, you're
curious.
good. Yeah.
So have you had anything where people from like your real life that you know IRL have like creeped you out or done something like that makes you like uncomfortable because you figure out that it's like somebody that you actually know?
Okay, so it actually doesn't make me uncomfortable, really. I had someone from church. I had
Praise the Lord.
an old high school teacher,
I think I remember you telling me about the high school
and
teacher.
an old employee
Oh,
at
an
my old job.
employee. He
Yeah,
must have had the
so
hots for you when you were managing him.
apparently, but it doesn't make me uncomfortable. I would never like. if I saw them in person, like if they said something to me about it, I might be like, okay, that's not an appropriate topic to talk about like in a public setting.
Right.
But it doesn't bother me that they sub. Like that doesn't like creep me out or anything, I guess. I don't know. I guess I just have a weird outlook cuz I feel like that should be something that like I should be like that I
Weirded
should
out
care
about?
about.
Well,
Yeah,
I
especially
think
my high
it's
school
only like
teacher. Like I
weird.
feel like I should have been weirded out by that, but it doesn't.
I think it's only weird if like say it would be like one of your friends and it was like their husband. Like that would be
Yeah.
weird. That would be like
That
uncomfortable.
puts you in an uncomfortable place for
Yeah.
sure.
Or like that kind of situation.
Yeah, or if it was like I don't know. I've had an ex sub to me before.
Yeah, but they've already seen stuff.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
it's like now you just have to pay for it.
I'm trying to make me uncomfortable. Like, yeah, probably somebody that's like a family member or
Oh,
like
that would be weird.
I've heard of that happening. Somebody's
Ugh.
like cousin,
Like uncle.
uncle. I've heard of that too, which I don't know if I mean those stories could be fake. But
Oh, they could be for sure. All right. And then how drastic of a difference do you see in your stats switching from gaming content to content that's more sexualized now? Like, have you seen like an increase in your stats on like just specifically like Facebook or any other content, or is it about the same?
Say it's hard to like put those next to each other because when I was streaming. All I was doing on my page was streaming once a day and maybe posting on my story once and maybe like posting on my page like once a week. It was mostly just streams. So I would say I definitely have more engagement now, but I'm pumping out a lot more content and it's short form content. So instead of spending 4 hours to get 1,000 likes and 1,000 comments, I like I can just post a bunch of pictures and reels and get like 6, 7, 8 times the amount of engagement. And like I don't know, like you can reach a lot more people too because there's like I don't know, people can watch it later. So I don't know, it's impossible to really compare the two, but I would say yeah, I probably get more engagement now for sure.
I know I've definitely seen a difference, like a huge difference, but I also still stream on Facebook and post gaming content. So like my gaming content gets drastically lower stats than any other content.
I mean, yeah, by the end of it, I was maybe getting 300 likes a day and like, 1,000 comments or whatever. Like it was really nothing. Now I'm getting like I get 1 to 5,000 likes on a post, and I do that like 8 times a day. So it's just like a lot more content.
Yes,
a lot,
for sure.
A lot more, surface level, I guess. I don't know if that made any sense. A lot more things to put likes into.
And then let me see here. Okay. So this is the question that I know everybody wants to know.
Okay.
They want to know how much you make.
Oh, that's a sensitive subject. But
obviously, I'm not gonna like hound you. Obviously.
How about if I tell you I paid? Well, wait, how much? I'm like trying to think. I paid 50,000 in taxes last year, so they can do the math from that.
Make them work for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And now we're going to get to community questions and how everything changed with your community once you changed your content. Mm-hmm. So how did your community take it when you switched content?
I mean, it was like a lot of hate, but it was a lot of hate from people that weren't like I didn't even know who they were.
Right. Like you're like, I've never seen you in stream before.
Consider them community members if I didn't know who they were, because like the people who I was really really close with, they really supported me, and that's all that I really cared about. So I would say my actual community, they stuck by my side for
sure. How do you handle the hate and criticism that you get surrounding your current content, and does it ever bother you? Like, do you ever have days where it's like, it really hurts to see like people so negative?
I don't think so. No, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me. There was like a time maybe where it did, but I think that was when my parents were first finding out about it, and it was more coming from a like, God, like, did I affect my relationship with my parents just for this to not work out? Because it was during a time when my parents were finding out. I was already in like I was in a deep hole of depression from being burnt out from streaming, and so it was just like an overall like really dark time for me. So I think that it was maybe the fact that it was an overall dark time for me like helped me to like compartmentalize that part, like people that I didn't care about. It was easy to ignore them because like I was really focused um on like not falling apart myself.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I it doesn't bother me anymore, mostly because I've finally gotten to a place where I'm just really happy with the decisions I've made. I'm happy with myself. I'm secure in myself. The people that I love support me. I've had consistent support over the last 2 years on OnlyFans, and so has it been 2 years? I think it's
Almost
been
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, I think it's about
Yeah,
2 years.
that's wild to me. That is wild to me.
I can't believe that either. That's crazy.
That's wild to me. So I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's been a crazy journey of self-discovery, I feel like. So
So you
if
would say
anything
OnlyFans helped you come out of the depression
yeah.
that you were in?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I
I
was able to
know.
get my fitness good. My I mean, it really pushed me to make myself better. It pushed me to want to go get fit and eat better. Be more focused on things that I love doing. So I think my favorite thing about like what OnlyFans has done for me is the amount of people who have shown that they just really support me no matter what. It took a lot of anxiety off of my shoulders. Um and it gave me a lot more time to focus on things that I love doing. Like I started writing again. I started focusing on a lot of creative stuff that I never would have done if it wasn't a part of my job.
Yeah.
So, like diving back into these things, these hobbies that I loved as a kid that I had lost somewhere down the road. I had lost who I was as a person, and breaking down all of these like preconceived notions that I had about who I would become once I started in OnlyFans. Like I really broke those down and realized that no matter what I do, no matter like what I do as a job, or if I lose followers, gain followers, whatever, like there is still a core people who love me for who I am and are gonna support me for who I am. And that helped me like get out of this like really dark place that I was in after my divorce, and after my stream falling apart, like the algorithm on Facebook kind of just like being
Yeah.
gone.
I know.
I mean,
I know how it's like. That kind of goes into the next question. Is there any like specific community members that you know were there for your streams like every single day, and then when you changed content they left? Or did those core people like for the most part stick around, or is like there a few that like left and you're sad, like you were sad about it?
there were some that left. I don't think that many of them like came out and said it. So like there's some that I like have inklings that they left because of that, but there was also a lot of other stuff going on
Yeah.
as well behind the scenes of like people, talking about me behind my back and making things up. And so I don't know really what was the catalyst and all that, because it was all happening at the same time. So I don't know. I definitely don't think that there is anyone that I couldn't reach out to now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
I guarantee that every person that used to be in my community, if I reached out to them now, they would still want to talk to me. As far as I know.
I mean, we hope so.
I haven't found out yet, so obviously it's nobody that I really
That like you would
reach
talk
out
to like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like I keep in touch with people as much as I can.
And then that one goes into the next one. Regarding your peers, have you lost any friends or feel that people treat you differently now that you've changed your content?
I definitely think people treat me differently. I can't say whether it's good or bad. I think a lot of it might be self-inflicted, where I feel like people don't want to hear things I say because of what I do or whatever. But I
Which is
think
sad.
it is sad, but I think that that's normal being a woman in general a lot of times. So, no, I I'm not gonna lie. I expected dating to be hard. I expected people to not like people to judge me when I tell them what I do for a living. I've only had one bad experience, and the way that the guy treated it, I was like, I am so glad that I found out because he was a fucking lunatic about it. Like, I had been talking to him for like literally 10 minutes, and he, like, when I told him, because it's one of the first things I tell guys if I'm like interested, he blew the fuck up after talking to me for 10 minutes. I was like, bro, all you had to say was like, oh, I'm not interested in dating somebody who does OnlyFans. And then like move on. Like, but he is the only one. And I was like, thank God. Like, that was like, I just got saved from whatever that was.
Oh my
Who knows what
gosh.
he would have done to me. But honestly, I feel like starting OnlyFans has only brought me closer to people. And like, it's really shown me who I can really, really trust and who loves me for me. And I think if I was a woman who didn't enjoy doing OnlyFans, it would come differently. But because it's like I've always been like a very sexual person and I've always really loved sex, I've always been really open with it. And so like it's just kind of who I am. Like it's my content was always kind of raunchy to begin with, like the way that I talked. So I feel like it wasn't that weird of a transition for people. Like I feel like people, I don't know, people who were in my life, it's not like I was like this perfect saint that didn't ever talk about sex and then all of a sudden I'm like, twerking on a dick. So it, I
Yeah,
just like
I get
it's
it.
true
I
to
get
who
it.
I am. And so it's attracted people who love me for being genuinely myself because I'm being true to who I
All right. So now we're gonna get into the questions that were commented on the post, which there's 5 of them, and then we're gonna go to chat, and I'm gonna answer some of the questions that were in chat. So the first one is: do you ever regret switching to adult content and not sticking to gaming?
No.
I didn't think so after
I
our
don't
whole
regret anything in
conversation.
my life. I don't make decisions I regret. Except getting married.
What's a goal, big or small, that you want to achieve on social media in the future? I know that's like a really wide question.
I have a lot of them in the works currently. If we're just talking social media, I'm really trying to produce music. I've been learning how to produce music, so that's a big thing for me.
I'm so happy for you because I know
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that. Oh my gosh.
I know, and I want to start like really pumping out YouTube content. So those are 2 things that I really need to start working on because I'm really far behind like on my goals for those 2 things for this year. So I need to get my shit in high gear. But I've been in this mentality of just fucking do it lately, where it's just like I just want to do things I want to do. The only person stopping me is me. And so I just gotta stop stopping myself from doing shit that I want to do and just go out there and get what I want,
Exactly. You definitely should. I think you have the capability to, and I think you.
Yeah, that's the thing. We all do. We all have it within us. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing stopping us is our own fears of failure. Like for me, anyways, like the only thing that was stopping me all these years from getting what I want is the fact that I was so afraid that I was going to fail that I didn't even want to try.
Honestly, fear is the biggest downfall.
Yeah.
And
Oscar
the
syndrome.
next one: would you ever date a follower?
I have. So yes.
Oh? Yes.
Yeah, nobody knows. I dated a guy that I met through my OnlyFans for like we were talking for like a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, no one knew. No one knew.
Getting the tea?
relationships like real close to the chest for good
I mean,
reason.
as you should, as you
And
should.
if there was something, if I had something that I was like, oh yeah, like I'm getting married, like
Oh yeah.
that's something that I would come out with. But when it's just like in the beginning stages, it's
Oh yeah, you don't know how it's gonna work out, and you don't want to like
exactly, and you don't want to like get, because that was something like when I dated Taylor, it was like
everybody knew about it. Yeah.
and months later, people were like, "Oh, you have a boyfriend?" I'm like, "No, we broke up like 8 months ago." Like, people are so slow with it.
They are for
it's
sure.
exhausting having to answer all the questions.
So with your increase of income, have you made any financial mistakes, and do you have any tips for others that are just starting regarding financing?
Absolutely. I mean, financial mistakes. I was very depressed, and I took like I just bought everything that I wanted. Never told myself no. I went everywhere I wanted to go. I don't really regret it so much though, because during that time, like that's what was keeping me like
Yeah.
afloat a little bit, unfortunately. And it was so it was yeah, but I don't really regret it. I made a lot of memories and I learned from it. But in the future, I did invest. I did invest some of my money.
Good. I'm
I
proud of you.
I paid off my credit cards. So
Big girl
I did
steps.
make some good decisions for sure. I wasn't all stupid with it. But I am going to be investing in real estate in the upcoming years. I do have some goals for like my investing and stuff like that. I want to be retired in like 10 years. So
Take me with you.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Anywhere you want to go.
And then this is the last one. One common thing mentioned is always about your son and how it affects him and how you feel about it. Like, well, I'm asking how you feel about it because people always bring it up. That's like their excuse as to why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a stupid thing for people to ask, I feel like, because like you wouldn't ask that of anyone else with their job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here with my son all the time. I get to be a huge influence in his life, and I think that's all that I should be worried about is the fact that I'm loving my son, and I'm raising a man who isn't gonna hate women. So like, and is gonna respect women, and he's being grown up in a generation where having an OnlyFans is actually a very viable income.
Right. I know there's a lot. Like
a lot. And it's
like
going to be very normal by the time he's old enough. Like I feel like it's already fairly normal, and it's only going to be more and more normalized as the years like
hopefully
go on.
I feel like not necessarily like I don't think people need to just be walking down the streets naked all the time.
No,
but I think that we need to like
not.
there's like a stigma against it, and I think
stigma.
Yeah, like
sure.
I feel like it needs.
That's
to
the only
be,
reason people ask that question, right?
Less,
you wouldn't ask that to somebody in the military who's going off to put their life in danger. You know, like you wouldn't ask that to somebody who like is wanting to start their own business doing something else. Like it's literally only because there's a stigma attached to it.
Right. It makes
and
sense.
People are afraid like your kid's gonna get bullied, or I mean kids are gonna get bullied anyways.
Yeah.
You can't sit around and like think about those things when it comes to putting food on the table for your child.
Makes sense. I agree. Definitely him having food is the most
important.
It
is. And like genuinely, like I've thought about that a lot, because that's obviously a question that I thought about when
you started, like I just probably
it's not like I just did it without any like thinking about
no, you're like I
was gonna affect
the consequences.
Everyone else in my life. Like obviously, like I'm not yeah, like I do think about consequences before I do stuff. So the big thing I think is how you raise your kids. And if you raise your kid to be secure and to know the truth about the world, really, like that kind of stuff shouldn't hopefully bother them. And if it does, we'll just move. We'll just move somewhere else. You know, like, it's that easy. I don't know. I mean, I may be naive about it, but the thing is I'm raising an incredible kid,
And you'll probably
it
come
shouldn't
across,
affect
when you
him.
come across that bridge, you can figure
I'll
it out
get
then. And
there.
like,
Yeah, I'll
what,
get
yeah,
there.
if you come across
It's a
that bridge. Yeah.
conversation that is going to be had with him, as like he's definitely not going to find out at school. Like, it is a conversation that I will have to have with him when he's old enough
Right.
to have
Yeah.
that conversation.
As it probably is better coming from you than
And
anybody else.
until then, all I can do is train him to teach him to be respectful of women, no matter what.
Right. Exactly.
As long as they're not hurting anyone, and everything I'm doing is legal, why should it matter?
One of the things my mom asked me is if it was legal.
Oh, really?
When I first started.
Oh my god!
And I was telling her how much I was making. She was like, "Is it legal?" And I was like, "Yes, Mom."
Oh my god! Yeah, I would never do anything illegal. Like, that's the thing. Like,
oh my gosh, me either.
That's my moral compass.
All right, so we're gonna move to a asking other people in the chat if they have any questions. Okay. If you have any over in your chat too that are good,
my chats,
let me know.
They're actually being very, very quiet. They're listening, as they should.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how explicit is your content, Lynx?
I mean, how explicit is 10?
I don't know.
I need a gauge for that. Like, if 1 is fucking PBS, and 10 is not even browsers. Like, I don't know, fucking anal prolapsing.
Oh my gosh.
I would say I'm like a 7.
A 7? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know that I would ever want to do anal prolapses ever.
Anal prolapse can be its own thing over there.
No, thank you.
Think about it.
No, thank you. There must be subs in my chat. They're rating it for you.
Wait, what? They're rating it for me?
Yeah, they're rating your content.
What are they saying?
Someone said 7, 8.
Yeah, I would say a 7, 8.
That's about right.
I don't have anything with
Mine's a 5.
Else.
Not even. I think mine's a 4.
Like a 4, yeah.
All right.
It depends what people's gauge is.
What? So I'm waiting for chat to ask questions.
I got an 8.5.
Okay, so here's another one. As you have become popular, has it been harder to make friends with people that are your fans, or do they get drowned out so say you post a picture and people are commenting on your picture, and you know how there's a lot of sometimes we get a lot of people from other countries that just post a whole bunch of gifs, or they say things that don't exactly make sense. Do you think that some of your true true fans, I was saying friends and fans at the same time, your true fans get drowned out by that, or no? Do you have a hard time?
I would say yes and no. It's impossible to say they don't get drowned out, because obviously it's hard for me to
read all the comments.
Comments, and a lot of times I don't read my own comments, especially if I'm having a bad mental day. Sometimes I just don't want to risk there being a bad comment, and I just won't look at them. So I would say yes and no, but I feel like the ones that are there all the time,
right, when they comment more than one time, or they comment on every photo.
Yeah, I started seeing a trend of the same people commenting and stuff, and you do you make friends over the comments a little bit,
yeah, for sure,
other creators. So I would say yes and no, but mostly no. I don't think it affects it much. Maybe more so when it comes to my Instagram DMs. DMs in general.
Oh yeah, DMs are
messy.
Yeah, I don't even read them.
Get drowned out. Yeah, there's even DMs from my friends that get drowned out.
Oh, I know,
because,
same.
I can't see them.
They see me in real life and they're like, "Hey, I messaged you on Instagram," and I'm like,
well, that's why you never heard from me.
I'm like, well, I was like, maybe you should not do that. I was like, I'm not gonna respond.
Right, Twitter or text. That's about it.
Oh, this is an interesting question. So Fade asked if doing OF makes you not want to get a boyfriend.
Nope, I don't think think it affects it at all.
No.
Honestly, no.
You don't
Like,
enjoy being single more because of having OF?
so no, because when I look for somebody that I want to be in a relationship with, like it's for a deep, like a really deep, genuine connection, that you don't really find necessarily on OnlyFans. But I wouldn't say I don't have like deeper, genuine like conversations and stuff like that over OnlyFans, but there is definitely a side of me that does want a relationship.
Right.
But
And I feel like OnlyFans is like work, right? Like
it is work. It is, yeah, for sure.
like you have like it's like a different category kind of.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And not to say that like somebody like
wouldn't catch your eye there, but
yeah, because like I said, like people have before, but yeah, no, I wouldn't say that like I'm deterred from having a boyfriend. I definitely think that it makes the like discovering someone, what's the I can't think of the word,
like looking for someone,
the right person is different now, because I have to look for somebody who isn't going to get jealous. But like that's something that came with content creation in general. Like it's
right?
hard
Yeah.
for me to date ever since I started streaming, just because a lot of guys are insecure about how much attention I was getting on posts and stuff like that. So it definitely changes the kind of person that I look for, because it has to be somebody that fits my lifestyle and is going to be okay with that kind of like people talking to me in that way and people seeing me in that way. But definitely would like a relationship. I mean, I've been single for years, so.
I mean, we've been married for years, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's totally different.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see if anybody else has any questions. Navy asked if he can have your number.
Hey.
Listen, you guys heard it first here that Lynx dates followers. So if you want to date Lynx, go to her OnlyFans and subscribe.
I'm gonna have messages that are like, so this is where I date you? Is this way? I should hold a speed dating with my OnlyFans followers.
Oh my gosh, that would be a really good like podcast.
It would, if people would be willing to do it, but I don't know that people would be willing to subject themselves to that.
I mean, we wouldn't have to necessarily. They wouldn't have to say that they followed you from OnlyFans. We could just pick
that
like
is true.
random
like, just
people.
say it's a speed dating. Yeah.
Like a speed dating with followers thing, and then it could be anyone. It could be me.
Not a bad idea.
I'm gonna be on it.
Yeah, well then I would have to just shut everyone else down automatically. That's not fair. No one can beat you.
What's the best way that you found to try to grow your comment? Like, there's so many sites that you can't promote it on and stuff. Like, have you found like
hard.
is there any way that like is really working for you? Like which site? Okay, I'm going all over the place.
Okay, so if I wasn't me, if I didn't already have a follower base when I started doing OnlyFans, this is what I tell people to do. I say go on Twitter, post every day on Twitter, start commenting on other girls who do OnlyFans, compliment them, become friends with them, get in with their circles. That's literally the only way to grow. That right. Or Reddit.
And don't like
just starting out.
And when you're that's networking.
Right.
Do not go on there and be like, oh, come sub to me, follow me. That's not how you network. No, you become friends. No, you find people like you want to vibe with.
Yes, you find people that you love their content, that you want to learn from, you want to collab with, and you start showing them like interest in them. Yep. I want to be your friend. You're cool. I like what you post. You're awesome. And then that's how you collab. Like that, or that's how you network. Networking is literally just following people that you genuinely like.
Right, exactly. And
it shouldn't be like, oh, this person's famous, so I'm gonna no, like the amount of like I grew this far with like you being my only friend that had more followers than me. All like think about it. You and I never really played with anyone that was bigger than us, like ever. Until we were already bigger. Until we were already getting those numbers ourselves. Like
right.
Even when I was like even playing with like audio and like dad bod and like all of them, like we were getting the same viewers at that
At
point,
that time,
you know?
yeah. But I was still like nervous as hell.
Oh my god, same.
I remember when we played with Abrupt, and Abrupt thought that I didn't like him because I didn't talk the whole time.
Oh my god.
And I was like, you were like, Abrupt thought, did you not like Abrupt is what you said to me afterwards. And I was like, no, I was just so nervous.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we grew this way by just like being friends with other people who had similar or smaller followings than us. Like, you don't have to go for the people that have like a bunch of clout in order to get somewhere.
Right.
You just have to have good content and be a genuine person and make genuine connections. You just have to love doing it. That's all it comes down to.
That is true. That is true. So one question, are you pro or anti-Bush?
I was thinking George W. Bush.
That's what I thought at first when I read it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not what they were thinking.
Well, when he was in office, I mean, my family was very pro-Bush. On me or on others, like, I'm very pro hair for anyone, but I have a little landing strip, and that's where I keep it.
I think whatever makes you comfortable is
like, I think
best.
it's all beautiful.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I think like anything that makes you feel comfortable, that's beautiful for sure.
Agreed. Is there any OF content creators that you really like that you would want to make content with?
Yeah, of course. Like, all of my friends, obviously. Like, not necessarily like have sex with them, but like doing like
we should do it. We still haven't done like a shoot. I know we want to do like me, you, Lady Geek.
Yeah, and go to the beach or something. We could even go like out to Katy, like, which is close to where.
Oh yeah, in Florida.
Is. Yeah, or no, that's in Texas.
Ladies in Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said Katy, and I was like, oh, you're bringing Katy into this too. I was like, okay.
No, there's a place in Katy, Texas.
I literally.
Ocean. It's really close to the ocean. It's close to Houston. So
yes.
we could like do something like that. But yeah, I mean, like there's like my friend Brindle. She and I have been doing.
Yes, I saw the pictures.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun together, and it's very comfortable with her.
That's good. That's how it should be. You don't want it to be uncomfortable. Obviously, it makes for not good content.
Exactly. Miss Sugar Happy, obviously. Like, I've been obsessed with her ever since
Katy
said streaming.
Katy said, "Will you date a tall girl that goes by Katy?"
Yeah, absolutely. Is that even a question? I'll kiss you right fucking now, Katy.
Oh my gosh,
we got to collab. No,
I can't. All right. Does anybody else have any questions in the chat? Before we end this, I think we're wrapping it up here. I think we've gone over pretty much everything. I don't think there's much we didn't touch on.
No, I think we did good. Is there anything, Sprite, that you wanted to add about it?
No, I don't really think so. I think at
the end of the day, what we're seeing.
Sorry, my dog keeps coming in here. Hold on 1 second. Let me kick him out.
You're good. I'll talk. I'll tell this. At the end of the day, what we're seeing, like, with Gamer Girl switching over to OnlyFans, like, I don't think that anyone's trying to be deceptive. I don't think that it has anything to do with that. I think that people are just seeing a demand for something, and they're taking that opportunity. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that business mindset. If there's a demand for something and there's someone willing to fill that demand, I don't see anything.
How would you?
And if you do, that's fine.
So like, how would you feel if you met a guy and you really liked, but like, say you like are together, and then he says he's okay with it, and then he changes his mind?
Then we break up.
You break up,
bro.
You wouldn't ever like down the line if like how long do you plan to do OnlyFans for?
As long as it's lucrative for me.
Right, that makes sense. As long as you can make money off of it.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back to college. I want to go back to college for research psychology. And I have some particular interests in psilocybin research and research on autism and trauma, bipolar, other mental illnesses. I don't know if that's considered. I guess yeah, mental
Yeah.
illnesses. I have like particular interest in that. I always have. It's always been very interesting to me. I do my own research on my own time, and I was like, there's so many things that I'm curious about, and there's no research on it. Why can't I be the one to go out and research it? So, I'm heavily about like once I want to get stable, own a home, and then I'm gonna go back to college for psychology for that.
That's awesome. That's going to be good. And I think psychology is great because you can help other people who may be going through like the same struggles that you have gone through,
Yeah.
and you can help them deal with their like
And
internal struggles too.
exactly. And if my OnlyFans is still popping, I'm still gonna be on OnlyFans. I'm just gonna be that hot research scientist on OnlyFans.
It makes all
So
the sense in the world. And like I always say like the great thing about content creation is you can go any direction. So like you
yeah.
could even like say you get to a point where you're like I don't want to do sexual content anymore. You can change your content.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still have OnlyFans. It could just be
Yep.
just your life content then. Like not saying obviously you're doing that now, but like in the future,
Yeah.
it's an open door.
Yeah.
That's the great
There's
thing about content.
literally it's like Patreon with no one telling you what you can. I mean, they tell you a little bit what you can and can't do, but it's like Patreon except for you can do NSFW.
Right. Yeah,
Like
exactly. Exactly. And there's so
what I
many
love.
people.
I love the fact that like it's so like there's not much you can get banned for. So like I can be like free to post whatever I'm feeling like.
Exactly. Not like a lot of other platforms. So
Exactly. Exactly. It's
and I
that
also
that
think like
freedom.
some of their top creators are like cooking and like fitness, and so
Fitness.
I think it's really
Yeah.
awesome that like they have that. I think there's like this stigma around it because it blew up based off of sex work, but there really are other creators on there. Like there's like you name a celebrity, they're probably on there.
Yep. Absolutely.
And some of them do nude content. So
Yep. Yep. It literally just filled a need. There was a
Yep.
need for that. And if it's not OnlyFans, it's gonna be something else. And people just need to start to realize that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I think that's pretty much it. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you for asking me to do this. It was
I had
a lot of
so
fun.
much fun. I wanted to do something different. And
I feel like there's a lot of like misconceptions behind
for sure.
OnlyFans, and hopefully we got most of them.
I
If
think
not,
we did.
can
I think
always
we
do
touched
part 2.
on a lot. I don't think the hate's gonna stop, unfortunately, though.
Never. It
But
never will
maybe
be.
we changed some
Where
people's minds
there is
tonight.
women succeeding, there will always be people mad.
Agreed. Maybe we'll get to a point where it's not like that, though.
Hopefully,
Fingers
a
crossed.
general. I mean, I feel like now, generally, just being in this content and being in a dating sphere, generally, it's accepted.
Right.
Trust me.
She said, "Trust me."
Trust me. It's accepted.
And they'll hold the camera. It's okay.
They absolutely, especially if you buy them that PS5. And honey, let me tell you, I would.
She bought me one. I know.
Oh yeah.
I already have my own. Okay. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna close out with chat, and then I'm gonna drop your links one more time so they can check you out.
Appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you too. I love you.
I love you.
And I'll message you and we can discuss later. All right. I love you.
Sounds good. Love you. Bye.